You still got the Christmas tree up, man. This guy. All right, let me make sure I got his volume checked. All right,
Into the
so
trash bag.
Mike, we not even getting to that. We got a Cleveland Brown expert. Now let me see this because your team understood the assignment. My team understood the assignment. Our teams lost. We
Like they were
played a
supposed
litany
to.
of backups, and we got the 1 and 2 pick. Now,
Yeah, I just want to say this real quick. Giants fans, listen. I know the Browns are bad. Like y'all don't have to tell me. We are dog shit, okay? You don't have to tell me that. I get that. All right? Y'all are the dumbest fucking franchise I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Y'all let Saquon Barkley go in the division just to almost break the rushing record. And then you have the number 1 seed locked up and y'all say, no, fuck that. I want Drew Lock and Malik Neighbors to go off in the most meaningless game possible so I can get the 3 seed. Y'all are the dumbest fucking franchise I've ever seen in my life. I just had to say that real quick.
I love it. All right, so look, y'all got the number 2 pick. Who do y'all really want? Deshaun Watson has been restructured. You could trade Myles Garrett for to get back into the first round plus some. Nick Chubb is off the books. You got some receivers that you got in through some trades. You got Judy.
So this is what the Browns are going to do. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what the Browns are going to do right now. It's one of 3 options. Allar declares for the draft, and they've pretty much made it clear they want him if he comes out. If they don't get him, or if he doesn't come out, I think they take Ward if he's available. If they don't take Ward, or if he's not available, they're trading down. Those are the only 3 options. Those are the only 3 options.
So you don't think they stay at 2? Take Abdul Carter, trade.
No.
You don't think they take Abdul Carter, trade Myles Garrett, get back in the first?
I don't think they do. Unless something changes in the offseason. Andrew Berry today made it sound like they are like getting rid of Myles is like the last resort option. So it doesn't sound like they want to have him go anywhere.
Does it sound like John Robinson telling Mike Vrabel that AJ Brown will retire a Titan?
No, this is a little different. He like made it a point to come out and say like we are not getting rid of Myles. That was like one of the things I took from the press conferences today was they 100% are not getting rid of Myles. They admitted that the Deshaun Watson trade has not gone the way they thought it would, and they said that the offensive line and the veteran players have been asking for them to switch back to Kevin Stefanski's offense. So that is what the press conference was about today.
All right, so I did the mock draft like 100 times. The Browns offered me a second, a third, a fourth, and a second in the 26th draft to get 1. If let's play devil's advocate.
That's only if Allar's coming out.
Let's say he beat Notre Dame, which I expect him to do. That's who I picked, and goes to the championship. Sight unseen, regardless of what happens in the championship versus Ohio State or Texas. I don't foresee him coming back if he makes the championship game. I foresee him going to the draft. If he declares and goes, will the Browns trade up with the Titans and draft Allar?
I think that's the only instance they trade up. That's the only instance they trade up. They really like Allar. I hear they like Ward too. Those are the 2 quarterbacks that I'm hearing that they like. They're not, from what I understand. Again, I'm not like in the Browns organization. I've followed them for my whole life, so I have sources that I go to. But from everything I'm hearing, they are big on Allar and on Ward. They are not big on Sanders. They are not big on any of the other top quarterback prospects. It's literally just those 2. So, and they're bigger on Allar from what I understand. So I think Allar is the only quarterback where they trade up for if they think Tennessee is going to take him. That's the other thing is I don't even know if this Tennessee what does Tennessee do? you've drafted quarterbacks for the last few years now. So that's the other thing.
But
So what is Tennessee going to do?
that's kind of my thought process is looking back on. I know you're familiar with the Chip Kelly Mariota trade offer that we didn't take. Every draft in the last 5 years outside of Burrow, the first quarterback drafted hasn't been the best quarterback in the draft.
No,
So
not at all.
if you the Titans trading back with the Browns to get capital don't hurt you if you know the Browns would be taking Allar or Ward, unless the Titans are like dead set, Ward is our guy, we're taking him. He's the second Steve
Or
McNair.
the Giants offer you the 3.
That's my third option. I would rather trade with the Browns and the Giants because if Allar doesn't come out and the Giants trade up and take Shador, Browns take Ward. If you the Titans, you then forced to take Abdul Carter, and you get it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Which is not a bad thing if you getting by doing the mocks. If you're gonna get 3 or 4 picks back, and you back up and get edge, and go quarterback, maybe like Ewers, Milroe, somebody like that comes out, like because at the end of the day, I don't think my team and your team is like one player away.
No, I agree. I agree with that. And that's the thing. That's why I don't think they're going to be focused on taking somebody like Carter. Like, yeah, great player. Is he going to make a difference that's going to be substantial this year? No. Is there any offensive tackle in this draft that you're taking with a top 10 pick? No. So in those offensive line is what they need the most help with on tackle. They need a QB. These are the Browns areas that they need. They need a QB, they need offensive line help, and they need linebackers in the worst way possible. I don't know if JOK is coming back. It is sounding like that injury might be career ending at this point.
That's tough.
So if that's the case, yeah, and he was a top 10 linebacker before he got hurt. He was a rising star. I love JOK. I got his jersey in my closet right now. I love JOK. But he might not be back. So we have no linebackers. We have 2 tackles that are pretty ass, to be honest. We've got a QB obviously situation going on right now. I think you stay away from defensive line. I think you stay away from receiver, from tight end. If you want to get secondary help in the later rounds, I think that's fine. But those aren't the priorities, at least not for the Browns.
I mean, they addressed that there will be a new starting right tackle in Tennessee coming up this year.
See, and you guys are in the same boat. That's what I mean. Like your guys' tackle position is dog shit too. So
I think you'd be an idiot if you wasted a top 10 pick on the tackle this year. Like it ain't a Joe.
There's no tackle worth it at all.
Like I don't see no guy like that. So my thought process is, I think the Titans are gonna bring Radens and Brunskill back at guard. Cushenberry is gonna come back off injury, back to center. I think the Titans are gonna address right tackle in free agency, or maybe between rounds 3 and 4. Titans need quarterback, edge, wide receiver, right side of offensive line, and safety. Like those are the spots that they need. So when I'm thinking about what the Titans, how they approach this, having the first pick, you'll be faster to get everything back if you traded the first pick. But traded with the Browns or Giants. Like if you go back to the Raiders, the area get kind of gray. Like I've done a mock 100 times. If you go back to like 6 or 7, it gets a little cloudy.
You're just not getting the same value because you're not getting a top 5 pick, and you're not going to get anything substantial for that upcoming year. So it's all going to be the next year. So it's you're kind of playing a game right there of making sure that you keep a top 5 pick. I mean, you can't drop out of the top 5 unless you're getting substantial value. I mean, a team has got to offer 2 firsts, 2 seconds, like minimum, if you're going into a scenario like that.
Yeah, I mean, because the people that get mad when I say trade back, it's like, the last time the Titans traded out of his position was with the Rams. The picks that got back was Corey Davis, Derrick Henry, Jonnu Smith, and I forgot who the other person, but there's like all 4 like lifetime Titans. So it's like when you think about like what you could potentially get in the second and third round if you was able to load up, or even get in the first of next year, Like,
And that's where teams are made, and people don't realize that, bro. I'm telling y'all right now, you get more guys that last in those second to fourth rounds than you do anywhere else. I mean, that's where teams really get made. Desmond said, "What do the Browns do with Chubb?" Uh, this one sucks to say. He either takes this pretty much the same deal he did this year, or they let him move on. I think, unfortunately, um, the city of Cleveland loves Nick Chubb. I don't. I want to emphasize how much that man is revered in Cleveland. That dude will never pay for a meal in Cleveland again. Anytime he's here, if he stays here, whatever may happen. Um, that dude is just like, and I think most NFL fans can relate. Like that dude is just a good dude, hard worker, keeps his nose down, doesn't talk shit, like just is a dog. And to go through that many injuries and still have the want to play is just a testament to Nick Chubb and his mindset. Having said all of that, this is a business. I don't know if he can run like he used to. I know that's not. I know he can't run like he used to. I still think he could be a usable back as a backup power back in this league, but he's not a feature back right now. At least not from what I see. Not saying that can change in the offseason. He could come back because he just came back. So I'm not saying he couldn't come back in the offseason, come back stronger. AP only had to deal with it once. He's done with it, three times now. So, it's just like a little different scenario. But, I'm not holding anything. I don't doubt that dude for a second when it comes to anything. But just realistically, business wise, he's either going to have to take a 2 million, 1 million guarantee with a league minimum salary, or they're probably going to let him move on.
yeah, that's kind of how I see that. Um, now let's play even further into the hypothetical realm. Who do you think the Giants want at 3, knowing that our two teams are ahead of them because they made the mistake of giving up the first pick?
They want Sanders. I think they still want Sanders.
You think they want Shador? Because they've been kind of sprinkling out. They kind of in on Ward. I don't know. In my mind, I think the Giants want Sanders.
I think they want Sanders. I really do. I think he knows something we don't know. I mean, you don't come out in cleats like that. It's just, I think they want Sanders. I think the Browns and Titans both know that they want Sanders, so we'll see how that plays out. Um, I think they would be okay with Travis Hunter.
You think they'd be okay with Travis Hunter?
Yeah, I think they'd be okay with
in my
Travis
mind,
Hunter.
I see Travis Hunter as a Patriot, but
And finding a bridge quarterback. So I don't know if they're, and that's the thing is I don't know what they're gonna do. Are they sold on Drake May?
I think the Patriots are sold on. I like Drake May's, like his talent level and what he could bring to the.
I do too. I don't think that I don't think that you give up on him yet. So if that's the case, then yeah, I could agree with the trade. But does Hunter get there is the question.
I don't see a situation where, knowing what the Giants, Browns, and Titans need, unless us or y'all trade out of that spot, I don't see a way where Hunter is gone if the Patriots are picking at 4.
That's true. That's true.
So it's kind of like
That's true.
getting in the mind of what the teams in front of you want.
The trade is going to be the trades are going to be huge. What happens in the first 3 picks? And I feel like somebody is going to trade out of one of those picks. So it's just going to depend on who's the team that does it. Who's the team that gets the value for it? Because then that's going to change the draft completely.
Because you're saying if Allar is coming out, it changes the draft for the Browns.
Changes it completely. I think if Allar comes out, from what I understand, he is by far and away the number 1 guy that the Browns want.
And like looking at me just being a student of watching what's going on, I'm looking at the comments of people saying that Shador won't play in Nashville.
Yeah, he would.
They had fans with bags on their head with Shador pictures on it, and he's like retweeting it, saying that's legendary.
I think that shit's. I think that like that whole argument is a thing of the past.
I think it's overplayed.
Dude, with so now I'm not gonna say that major markets don't play a part in sports because they do, And I'm not saying that you're not going to get more incentive deals and have better endorsement opportunities in, say, New York, LA, that sort of thing. But for the most part, I mean, dude, Patrick Mahomes is the most known fucking football player in the world, and he plays for Kansas City.
He's on
You
the
know what I'm
Chiefs.
saying? Like, Kansas City ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, football is just so transcendent now, and it's gotten so big, and social media is everywhere. Gambling is everywhere. Fantasy football is everywhere. I don't think it's as big of a deal anymore. And I mean,
I don't, and I'm gonna tell you why
if
I
you're a
don't.
Sanders, you've got the name already. So, like, you're going to get endorsements no matter what.
The thing about it, who if the Titans take a quarterback in the first round, and I've been having to deal with these like idiotic debates all day. We did a poll yesterday, and I let the chat guess. We took the first 6 quarterbacks in the draft, and I asked them who would be better, one of the first 6 quarterbacks taken, or Levis Rudolph. All 6 of them, the chat basically said you take one of the 6 top quarterbacks in the draft over Levis Rudolph. You have low expectations. You statistically had the worst record in the NFL. You're going to get 1,000-yard receiver. You're going to get a new revamp line and 1,000-yard back. And you're probably going to get another big receiver or in the draft or in free agency because the Titans still have $70 million in cap. You're going to be the guy when you get there. You're going to go get to write your own story.
Yeah.
So I don't see Allar, I don't see Shador, and I don't see Cam Ward getting drafted to Nashville and rolling out thinking, if I win 4 games, I'm a hero. And saying I don't want that.
No, I agree with that. There's expectations that come with that at that point, especially because of like what you said, there are pieces around. Like it's not and the defense was great in a lot of instances for you guys this year. Defense for the Titans was great in a lot of games this year. So I don't think you guys are necessarily like a rebuild, like completely screwed. You need every piece imaginable. And I don't think the Browns are either, but you definitely need more than one piece. Trading down makes the most sense in a draft like this because there's a lot of value in these like non-skill positions this year other than tackle. So it's like realistically, I mean, you can fix 2-3 different positions or at least try to address 2 to 3 different areas of need as opposed to going all in on one pick and hoping that it pans out. Now, again, if you're sold on a guy, like most GMs will be, if they think it's their guy and their quarterback, they're going to take him no matter what. But, the smart play in a draft like this, if you're not sold on any one of those quarterbacks, is to just take shots at multiple areas of need and see what happens.
I mean, that's what I did in I did like 20 or 30 mocks where I trade out. Like the best ones I got is I traded with the Browns. Y'all took Ward. I still took Sanders. I took Landon Jackson. I took Keon Sabb. I took Jahad Campbell. I had Horn.
Yeah,
I had Gun.
they
I
like
had Helm,
Ward.
the tight end from Texas. I had like some Baron Sorrell from Texas, like a 7th round edge. Like I got Scatterbo. Like bro, I got a lot of players.
Would be crazy.
I got a lot of players, so it's like trading back could be DeMarcus Mariota for the Titans. It could be to trade back and get Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know what you're gonna get when you trade back.
I just don't see the Browns trading up for Ward. They like Ward. I think they would take him if he's there and Allar doesn't come out. But I don't think they're trading up for him.
So, but the team I think is thirsty to trade up is the Giants.
Yeah, I do too. I think they want a quarterback. I think they know they kind of like. I mean, no, that not kind of. They fucked up. They could have picked whoever they wanted at number 1 and not had to worry about any of this. You just had to lose a meaningless game. That's all you had to do. So, yeah, I think they're feeling the pressure a little bit to make sure that they still get their guy, to be honest.
True.
That's where you guys could take advantage of things.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I think for what teams, like people show up to troll us when our teams are this bad, but in reality, like this is the best content. Like our teams are like the focal part of the draft, the focal part of the off season. Watching the Commanders get a couple good guys, drafting Jaden Daniels, getting Robinson back, getting Austin Eckler, Bobby Wagner, and having some of the young guys step up. Even they traded Jahan Dotson, and they got better. It was like
No, I agree.
seeing the Chargers what they did, seeing the Broncos what they did. Like you, like yo, if they make the right moves, these teams that gave up players, oh my God, they gave up Judy. Oh my God, they gave up Simmons. Oh my God, they give up this person, that person, and then you look up and the team got it like exponentially better by giving up certain pieces. I think it's something to be seen by that. Stop thinking about just the
Well,
name and rebuild your
exact, and
team.
that's the thing. Don't think about that. We're always like we're always looking at the names or like just some arbitrary things. I fall into this trap all the time. I thought Bo Nix was gonna be ass. I'm gonna just keep it a buck 50 with y'all. I did not think Bo Nix was gonna be good in the league. Dude had played in college forever. When I watched him, he couldn't progress. He couldn't do progression reads to save his life. So I didn't think that that man would make it into the league at all. And now all of a sudden, this dude is fucking throwing dots, running and having great pocket presence. Okay, like it's insane. So like we're not always right. You know what I mean? Like nobody knows 100% for sure what the heck is going to happen with these guys, regardless. So that's the biggest thing too. Is like the reason I say that is to Buddha's point. A lot of times, most of these teams don't do the smart thing, which would be trade down and get multiple chances at multiple areas of need.
Like that's the one thing I think. Like I hope the Titans don't get rid of Rand because I think Rand would see that a new guy coming in would want to make the splash with the first overall pick.
Yep.
So it's like Rand could sit and see like, yo, we need edge rushers, we need another receiver, we needed a third running back, we need this, we need that. Like when people tell me there's no talent in this draft, I'm like, when you look at the board and see in the fourth round, like the Titans could get Dylan Sampson or Scatterbo in the fourth with like one of their 3 4th round picks, or
Oh,
you could get an offensive guard from Michigan or Georgia to play that right guard position in the fourth or the fifth. When you look at like some of the good safeties that's going to be around in the third and the fourth, some of the really good edge and linebackers that's going to be in the back of the first in the second,
exactly.
you just like know that when the draft came this past year, and I'm saying Jared Verse is going to be a goon for the Rams, and he's a goon for the Rams. You start seeing some of these guys that fall down, like whoever picks in the middle of the first round that gets Warren from Penn State, that tight end,
Dude,
he's gonna be a
that
goon.
dude is, yeah, like that dude is insane. And no, and you're not wrong. Again, I really feel like teams get made in the second to fourth round. Like that's where you can get a lot of it. We got Nick Chubb in the second round. You can get running backs especially anywhere from the 2 to 4 round area is. I mean, you could find some great value there. So it's one of those things where, like you said, I think that the value is going to be in stockpiling picks right now, especially with some of these guys that are coming out. Now, again, that's not to say we all know this is going to happen because quarterbacks get overvalued incredibly way too much in the draft. Somebody's going to reach. Somebody's going to go for a quarterback that they shouldn't be going for. Somebody's going to pull something that they shouldn't be doing. We're going to see it this year. But another thing that we have to think about is some of these teams aren't looking at it as a 1 year deal. They're looking at it as a 2 or 3 year deal. So, like the Falcons, for example, I actually have to give them a little bit of credit. I thought it wasn't the smartest move when you just signed a quarterback and then come to find out that he might be a great option for them. And now they know that they need to focus on pass rushers and to help their defense, and they could be a team that could be really serious in these next coming years. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like a 2 to 3 year plan that the Falcons have obviously come up with. So that's the other thing too is like some of these teams. If you love a quarterback this year and you think that you can get value, you think it's a high value draft next year for some of these other area needs and position needs. You take the guy that you think is going to work for you at quarterback. You let him go for the year, and you draft again next year on those pieces around him, and then you see what comes up with it 2 to 3 years from there. So not all coaches are allowed that time, but that's also a strategy that some of these teams have taken into effect. It doesn't always work, but some of the teams have done it.
Yeah, I mean, people don't want to hear this, but when I talk about Shadur or Allar or Cam Ward and the Titans got the first pick, they realize that in 2027, the Tennessee Titans are going to be opening a brand new stadium, and they're going to want a face of that franchise at QB.
Yep.
The plan may be coming in, whoever they draft in that quarterback. Hey, look, we're going to give you a 2-year run. This first year, we won 3 games last season. Like, get us to 500 football, show improvement, and we're going to sell that 2027 years. Like, this is our year. You know, like, that might be the last year on Jeffrey Simmons' contract. That might be the last of Calvin Ridley's contract. And we're going to be in that window that we could spend a lot of the cap, because the Titans still have $70 million free on cap. So it's still a chance that, like, some of these guys out here in these positions that they don't get, they'll have plenty of money to go after anybody they want.
And then that's the other thing too. So you've got to factor that in. So that's what's different. So that's a difference between the Browns and the Titans scenarios. The Browns don't have great cap space right now. They'll free something up eventually. They always do. But the Titans have guaranteed cap space right now that they can use on whatever they want. So they could feel confident about one of these quarterbacks. They can say, hey, we got the 1 pick. We love this dude right here. We're taking him. And then we're going to go out and spend the rest of this money on all these other areas of need if there's people out there in free agency that they think they can get that fit what they're looking for. So, and I don't know who that would be. I haven't looked into free agency that much yet, so nobody get on me about that. I haven't looked at it like that yet. I usually look at that closer to when the draft gets here to start looking at like potential moves. But, I mean, that's something that you also have to look at. The Titans have enough money where they could just buy the team around them and go get their guy right now.
Right. And see, that's kind of the thought process that I explained. Like, you know, to who, if they do go after a QB, like that QB will know kind of coming in exactly what they got. You know, kind of like when you know, CJ Stroud had the year and they like let him pick Tank Dell and see how that turned out. Yeah. Like sometimes you say you pick a guy and hey, next year you gonna get to go pick who you want to play with. Like we gonna offer you that. So that's why I don't see them spending money on an expensive bridge this year. It's like who's taking a chance on either. Justin Fields, Danny Dimes, who's wanting to trade for JJ McCarthy if the Vikings get flooded. If the Vikings make a run, JJ McCarthy might get moved. If they get flooded, you can see them letting Sam Darnold walk. The tough part is like you don't get it. What's that?
You're not going to want to hear this, but you guys could sign Kirk Cousins for the minimum. When they cut him before that $10 million bonus, they're going to be on the hook for the rest of that salary if anybody signs him. You guys could sign Kirk for the minimum. And I know you hate Kirk. I'm not a huge fan of Kirk because he doesn't win big games. I know I know what you're going to say. But if you are just looking for a bridge quarterback that is going to win you a few games more possibly, you're still going to have a pick. You're still going to be able to get your guy if you want or go get your guy the next year. I don't think that's a terrible option for you guys.
It's not a bad option if you know you're going somewhere else. But I also...
Yeah, you have to have a definitive plan if you're going that way. Like Kirk is not the guy, 100%.
Yeah. But see, this also to see the thing that I have is like, we know Mason Rudolph is not going to be in the franchise next year. And Will Levis is still there as number 2 or number 3. My problem with Callahan trying to use him as the fall guy, the scapegoat this year, you came to Tennessee because you wanted to coach him.
Yeah.
You haven't done a good job developing him. And I watched Malik Willis go to the Green Bay Packers and go 3-0 as a starter. So it's starting to ask the question, what did you not see progression-wise from Willis in camp? What did you see from Will Levis that made you want to come coach him? Because no way you taking a coaching job knowing who the quarterback is that you just drafted. He said he wanted to coach him, and he just haven't got much out of him. But he hasn't got anything out of Rudolph, and he didn't get anything out of Willis. And LaFleur, in 3 weeks, got more out of Willis than he's got the entire time in Nashville. So the question also becomes, if they've pretty much gave him the vote of confidence that Callahan will be here next year, I'm interested to see. We haven't heard from Amy. We haven't heard from Rand. What is going on with that GM position? Is he coming back? Are we continuing to build? I hope they do sincerely.
So this is something that I'm a very big believer in, and I think people don't think about this enough, or they blame players too quickly. And I've done it before too, so I can't fault I can't say I'm not at fault at this. But we've really, really got to start taking a look at just how bad some of these teams are at actually developing talent, particularly quarterbacks. Because we're seeing guys from Tennessee, just like he said, now he's having success. We're seeing Kirk Cousins have crazy success in Minnesota, where he was kind of journeyman before then, Washington, all that stuff. Sam Darnold, same scenario. And then you go to Cleveland. You have Baker Mayfield. Now he's won the NFC South twice, just through 41 touchdown passes, just threw for 4,500 yards. Like,
Geno
at
Smith.
some point, we've got to start looking at these franchises and these coaches and being like, bro, you guys are ass at developing players, just flat out.
I think the hard part is like it's very obvious. Callahan was the first year coach, and he's calling plays for the first time. Nick Holtz is the offensive coordinator, and I just don't think they ever did a good job of putting him in the right positions and situations. Now, does Levis make some bonehead plays?
Of course.
You can't.
Yeah.
I can show you 3 games. The Titans are first and goal from the 1, and they pass 4 times.
Yep.
With Tony Pollard and
Like
Tajay
the Vikings
Spears in the
did last
backfield.
night. 3 straight possessions inside the 10, and you throw it every single time but one.
It doesn't make sense to me. If you're trying to bring along a young QB, the fact that the Titans was 32 out of 32 NFL teams on punt and kick returns, like we had the worst special teams. They was. Do you realize this statistic? The Tennessee Titans could get an illegal procedure. They could kick the ball out of bounds every kickoff, and there would be less than a yard difference between the field position they gave up on kick returns.
Oh, hell no.
So
that's crazy.
Think about the Lions game. Like Goff had like 100 yards passing, but the whole point was they got the ball like 4 straight possessions at the 20, and one of them was a return. So you can't muff punts, get punts blocked, give up punt returns and kick returns, and then draft Jaquan Jackson and not get a lot from him on kick and punt returns, and then still be a good football team if you can't score in the red zone because you're not committing to the run. First round draft pick J.C. Latham, first round draft pick Peter Skoronski, best center in free agency Lloyd Cushenberry. Run the ball left on the goal line. That's where your money's at.
I mean, you
Taylor Lewan used to have the hat. Run left. Run the ball left on the goal line. Motion in a guy. Put another tight end. I don't care what you got to do. Like, having Will Levis and Mason Rudolph throw the ball inside the 10 the whole season didn't work out.
Yeah.
It turned into turnovers, sacks that backed up the field goal unit, or just missed opportunities. Unless they was throwing to Nick Westbrook. That's the only time that we got
yeah.
It's throwing to
and
Nick
teams
Westbrook.
are catching on to this short shit in the red zone now. Like, teams are catching on to these quick screens, these RPOs. Like, that's not working like it was. That, like, you got to get more creative now. Like, teams are looking for that short stuff and looking for playmakers to develop into something. And that's not working as much anymore.
No, it's not. That's why I think the better teams are saying, you're gonna stop us from running the ball when we get when you play the you play the Ravens and you play the Bills, like you kind of know you finna get like a RPO look, and you guys better be in position. It's it's pretty much that. We're not doing a hard count. We getting on the ball and snapping it. Can you stop it?
And no, you're right. Good teams run the ball. I mean, Lions, when they're inside the 10, they're giving the ball up usually. Of course, these teams are passing it still a little bit, but I mean, the good teams know that for a lot of those chances, you got to run the ball a little bit, 100%. And those are the teams that are going to play well in the playoffs. I mean, running translates in some of these weather conditions.
You have to establish it, and just to me, when I look at what the identity is going forward, like what will be the identity of the Titans? What will be the identity of the Browns? What will be the identity of the Giants? Like these teams that's picking at the top, like what do you want your team to be?
Mm-hmm.
because the
Mm-hmm.
best teams in the league can run it. They can stop the run. They can defend, and they can score in the red zone.
That's it. That's what it comes down to right there. I mean, you summed it up right there. I mean, these playoffs are going to be. I'm excited for these playoffs, man. I don't know if this is a good transition or not. I feel like it is, but yeah, I think these playoffs are going to be good this year. I really do. I think the Bucks are beating the Commanders. By the way, y'all. That's just my early
I
prediction.
think it's some really good games in the NFC. The Packers are beat up, and they playing the Eagles.
Hey, dude, they fell into the playoffs almost at this point.
Then you got the Vikings playing the Rams. Gonna be a good matchup. And like you said, you got the Bucks and the Commanders. I think you got some really good matchups. You got the Texans, Chargers, the Broncos playing the Bills, and then you got the Ravens and Steelers in a rematch.
Yeah, I'm not as excited about the AFC. I can't lie to y'all.
I think it's gonna be some good games though. I mean, I think the Bills are gonna compete with. I mean, the Broncos gonna compete with the Bills. I don't know if they beat them. But I think they're gonna compete.
But I agree. I think they compete. I don't know, man. I feel like the Ravens have the Steelers' number right now at this point, so we'll see how that goes. But then again, we saw the Ravens run the ball 6 total times in the AFC Championship game last year. So you never know what's gonna happen.
And that's the wonderful thing about the playoffs is like you don't know what's going. You really don't know what's gonna happen. I'm really interested to get to this off season. I think we all kind of have our eyes on Allar. Is he coming out? What these teams start to do position wise. Does anybody get traded pre-draft? Would there be any moves? Who's getting released at the end of the season? And right now, for Titan fans, we're just trying to I need Amy and Rand to come out and make a statement. I need to see them be on there with Mike Keith and the Titans Minute on YouTube, just to let you guys know that we're going to retain Rand through the draft. You know, it's like, come on, man.
gosh.
Like the Titans are so like 1960s, man. Like you know how like you watching a cartoon and like the Kings getting ready to come out to the royal court and everybody goes and they blowing the trumpets. And the Titans think they have to do that to tell us what they got going on. They don't.
Yep.
Where's the Bill
Old
Belichick
school.
like cut off sleeve sweatshirt? All right, guys, right? Everybody's coming back. We're not firing anybody. I need to. We need. You know what I'm saying? Like, just shoot it to us straight, man. You're firing Cole Anderson. Brian Callahan's being relieved of his play calling. Y'all forcing him to hire an offensive coordinator that can call plays. Like you know what I'm saying? Get me there.
That's crazy.
I mean,
I feel
seriously,
though-
like that matters
though-
in who they drafting too.
No, you're not wrong.
Because if Callahan's
You're
not
not
calling
wrong.
plays and he's got to go get an OC that's gonna call plays, when that guy's hired, we kind of know who they're trying to get at QB too.
Hey, I want to say something real quick, chat. Joy Taylor is for the streets.
Or you could be like Kyle Hurd. What Kyle Hurd said. He said, those two titties. I mean, yeah. Those two cities.
Bro. If that shit is true, she was screwing Acho while screwing that Dixon dude. While saying she was going to blame some Me Too stuff on that dude who didn't do anything. Oh, hell no, bro. Nah, she got to pay. She got to pay.
Defamation.
That's some diabolical shit right there.
But you know the one thing about somebody like that, it's still like some rich athlete that's like, I still clap though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she's still gonna be holding hands with somebody courtside or in the press box. Like somebody's still gonna jump on it though.
No, and I don't even. And this is the thing. I don't even care if you cheat. That's your own life. I don't give a shit about that. But to just like blatantly be ready to just lie on somebody to get them in legal trouble.
That's wild.
Like, bro, that is diabolical, dog. Like that is like some evil shit right there. So, yeah.
Drew,
I want. Hey,
Mike.
don't touch her, y'all. All you know, none of
Drew,
us.
Mike,
But all them athletes
Danny,
out there. I know
Sean,
none of
MD,
y'all are watching
Wall,
this.
Marcus,
But if
Chris.
one of you guys catch this, don't mess with Joy Taylor, man, because that's diabolical right there. She evil.
Man, he gonna be over there like I heard those two. Hey, if she come out in that lace front, man, it's over with.
Oh,
All logic go out the window. And this is a conversation that I had with Impulse. And like have you ever been to any like stream conventions, Sealy?
no, I have not. I have
if
not gone to
if
any.
if you were shot by Buddha and you've been to several string conventions, this is just the business. Because I don't blame the girls. I'm gonna tell you why. This gets created because they're guys who ain't never had a woman before, ain't never been around women before. And I've been to Atlanta, Orlando, Vegas, and I see these guys show up. You know who been in the DMs. You know who's promised this. You know who's flown this person out. And they're girls who are looking for a creator that's a little bit bigger that can pull them up. They're guys that are there to use whatever status they have to try to get women. And it's the ticker tape. Like, this ain't the first person you dealt with. This ain't the first time you tried this. Hey, we've been down this street before. And then there's another level. There's like celebrities like Tifu and Kenny Vaccaro and Kai Cenat. And there's guys like that that's there. And there are girls who are like 100,000 plus followers, big fan bases, OnlyFans. And they looking for the rich guy with the bag. And the guy with the bag is looking for those girls and the ones that'll come for nothing. And it creates this environment of like, I myself had to go to these places like, nah, I'm going to just sit back and watch the show. Silly. Yeah. You will see people take shrooms, pop mollies.
I'd probably be on that same boat just watching.
You see people doing wild, and I'm just sitting back like this, like, sipping my beer, just watching the craziest shit go on, because that's how the music industry, the content industry, the TV, it's people that's playing for power to get places. And it's a bunch of joys.
I see that.
It's a bunch of joys. And it's a bunch of guys that's out here that are some creeps too. And they trying to use everything 100%. They can get to clap these little chicks, you know what I'm saying? And egos get involved. And just like I was watching It's Up There podcast. It's a podcast I watch a lot. They was talking about the Papoose, Remy Ma, Easy the Block Captain situation. And Easy the Block Captain is on live like, yeah, man. Like, and the dude in the podcast, Big Loon, is like, she's married. She's been married for 17 years. She's still living in the house with her husband, and y'all are dating. You don't think he was going to knock you out? Even if y'all still be together, like, either you got to move her out that crib or you got to leave her alone and just be like, I touched that. And it's kind of like a gray area of cloudy judgment that, like, dude.
That's a hella gray area.
Like, dude, like, you dating somebody's wife that still live with him in a situation where she's bigger than you and the husband is bigger than you. You on the come up. So this is like the most popular woman you ever deal with. When you really think about it, you should really be just popping off the thotties. You really shouldn't even be in this situation, because it's not gonna last. At some point, like, you're gonna realize, like,
hell no,
the situation you in. And you see this in the content world. And I tell my chat all the time, I watch people make the craziest decisions and do the wildest things when you get out of town, get some liquor in your system, and see the guy they been looking at thinking that this guy's popping, or the girl that the guy's looking at thinking that they popping. So just think, silly. In the time when we was on Facebook gaming and Twitch and YouTube, all the e-girls, all the cute girls that play COD, Apex, Fortnite, that got the profile pics, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, imagine if you took 100 of them and put them in a convention with all the guys that are moderators, chat goats, other creators that may play the game, co-stream with them, want to co-stream with them. They might want to, and it's just, it's a murky water. So Joy Taylor is like kind of what happens in the last wrench is, I got this one grenade. If I get caught, I'm popping this cyanide pill or this grenade.
It's just crazy.
It's a tell-all. How many girls and dudes have you seen go live? I just want to set the record straight. Hi, my name's Thin. Hi, my name's this person. How, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'll go through this situation where, like, y'all was both popping off on each other for clout, and when it gets down to the point where you can't use each other no more, the last leg is the tell-all or the Me Too.
That's just it's and I agree with it. It's just that is diabolical, man. I just can't. Lying on somebody is just it's diabolical to me, bro. I can't deal with, but I get it. I mean, I get why.
It's the
I get
ego.
I get that it happens. And when you paint a scenario like that, man, when you really think about it, bro, some of these people in these chats, like, just be real. Like, think about some of these people like donating in these streams to these e-girls and stuff, and then like them actually going out to these conventions because they do, because they're top gifters and top donators. And bro, I could just, oh man,
Silly.
yeah, I'm glad
Look
I
at
don't
my
go to
look at
that
my
shit.
face. I remember being in Orlando poolside, and there's like Queen Eliminator and Sparkling Sprite and all them at the poolside, and just seeing dudes like literally go in there full on pocket protector, khaki pocket pool mode. Like I could see it, and I'm just like, I could see how they approach these people. Like I seen two dudes pop mollies and take their shirt off in the club in Atlanta, and like just being so weird. And I'm like, my mouth is kind of open. Like oh, this dude flew her out and paid for her hotel and her Uber and her food and stuff. And don't nobody
Yep.
know it, but she really came because it's these two guys is here. And you see heartbreak in 4K, and you see people lose their mind and shit. Like shit get wild because that's what really
I could
happened. Because
believe it.
when it goes down, we all just be like, it's kind of comical, but it's sad at the same time. But just imagine this is just on the thousands of people
Oh yeah,
at
exactly.
the 100,000, half a meal to a meal to like you're on a syndicated TV
No,
show on Fox,
100%.
you
When
on
you scale this
ESPN.
thing larger, oh my god.
But there's
And that's
nothing
where you
wrong with
get
a
like
nerd though,
that's
Chronic. Get
but
some
that's
cool
but
nerds.
that's where you get like the amaranths and stuff then. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where you get the chicks who have capitalized on both sides, OnlyFans and live streaming on Twitch.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Was
like,
Trigger happy to be kicking the dudes with the big shoes? You know what I'm saying? And you
yeah.
even yo Big Jeff with the 10 gifted dragon stickers in the chat. No, I know you're not
No,
hating,
W's in the chat for
but
Jeff, bro. Jeff always showing love
yeah,
in Buddha's
Jeff
chat, bro, for
is a goat,
real.
man. And
He's I got me a couple goats like that in my community, and I just want Jeff. I'm gonna speak for Buddha on this one because I feel that I can. You are appreciated more than you know, big dog. Just know that.
oh, for sure. Like I don't even have a way to appreciate the people that still come to the streams, like, share, comment. I still feel like my best content is ahead of me, and the people that keep that journey going to that. Like, it's no way for me to, other than to get to where we need to get the community to one day where it's like I can really show y'all like the real appreciation.
Oh
And
yeah, oh yeah.
in this conversation, I've seen so much crazy stuff go down in front of me when it comes to this type of stuff, like the Joy Bryant. That like
Hmm.
you remember the carom cheese situation where like
Yeah.
it was like the girl that was like the moderator that fell in love with him, and she got popped off on at one of the conventions, and then she called his girlfriend, and the girlfriend's like, yeah, I know about you. Like, I gave him the pass. Like, that was the weekend. You know what I'm saying? This a
Oh,
5 year thing. Like, I'm not letting my guy go because he popped off with you. And then she's like trying to make him such a, like, okay, a guy with like 250,000 followers popped you off on a convention in Vegas. Like, that's,
yeah.
it's not like you breaking the story, chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, this happens
And
all the time.
honestly, in this day and age, bro, like that's not moving anybody. You know what I'm saying?
It's not at
That's
all.
just not moving anybody. Like that's your personal. I'm very big on like that's your personal shit. You gotta handle that yourself. Like don't look for sympathy from me on this shit. Like I don't care. I got my own relationship to deal with. Like, I don't give a
Jeff with
fuck
another
if you're out
10
here cheating
dragon
or they're
stickers
out
in the
here
chat.
cheating. Like that ain't my relationship. So I don't like. That's always been my take on that. And but like people will still to this day look for sympathy out of this, and they get it. Go on TikTok. Oh, this guy cheated on me. 20,000 comments later. Fuck that piece of shit. Like nobody knows the story. Nobody knows the real scenario. Just fuck that dude. He's an asshole. You deserve so much better. Queen slay, queen slay. Like all right, bro. Like
it's
what are we
it's
doing?
it's so dumb though, because when I when I see stories like this, I'm like, I've watched these things happen with like creators, and I'm just like, that's the internet age. I'm from the age where you like actually meet up with somebody and but it's this new age,
Yep.
man. The new age
Yep.
is it's all
That's why I
digital.
always say in some of these chats, like, bro, y'all, like, the problem now is people don't have consequences.
Mm-mm.
Like, back in our day, if you were saying some reckless off the wall shit, you had consequences for saying that reckless off the wall shit. Now it's, you know, nobody's doing anything about anything. Everybody's
The,
letting
the
everything go.
the stuff they want to cancel you for is dumb. Like when I like I can speak about it now because it's been such a long time. Like, but when the thin shit happened, I was
Oh
like,
my god, I forgot all about that until you brought that up earlier. When was that? 2019,
that's
2020?
like 2021. Like, here's a huge Call of Duty streamer. He's got a girlfriend living with him. She's got a substance problem. She's self-harming herself. He wants her to get help. She don't want to get help. She ran up like 5-10 grand on his credit card and he wanted her out. And then she did a tell-all on sympathy. They tried to cancel him. But I'm saying, like,
Yeah,
that's a
yep.
relationship situation where, like, he's not abusive. You go back on her Twitter, she tried to clean her Twitter, like she's begging for fate favors and stuff. Like, dog, this ain't no this ain't Cinderella dropping her shoe on the way to the ball.
Nope.
Like, she ran up 10 bands on the credit card and their relationship's over and she won't get help, so he wants her out. He was the big
I
creator,
still
not
follow
her.
Thinned. Yeah,
You're
I
like,
still follow Thinned. I mean, I
so,
don't
so
really.
it's like in those situations, like at the time, everybody had to leave it alone because it's like the Me Too movement. You don't want to be next. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's why the Joy Taylor thing's so fucked up, bro. That shit caused real harm to a lot of people. Like, that was like not true. Like, that is crazy, man. Like, I, I just don't want to live in a world where people can just say whatever, and it's just believed, and then like there's
yes,
actual
she.
consequences. I just don't want to live in that world. Like, I'm a firm believer. I think Buddha would attest to this too. I'm a firm believer in like learning all of the information. And if I don't have complete information, if I don't have accurate information, then I'm not going to crucify somebody for anything.
I
Like,
want
I
to
got to
wait.
know.
I want to wait.
The only thing that I do sometimes, and I'll be honest, the only thing that I do is, yes, I do say, like, no Diddy and all that shit. Hey, it's just funny, okay? All right,
It
that's
is though.
that's
It
what it
is. It
comes
is.
down to.
It is. Like it is. And I just like when I seen this situation, I seen like a bunch of situations like that. Like, I've seen people get in these love triangles, and I've seen people, you know, like finesse on a female to get clout or vice versa. Like, you seen it
Yep.
go both ways, and it's like it's not a surprise to me. I just think people allow this whole like tell all era to like dictate how things go. But I think at some point soon, people who are doing things to people should have major consequences, and people who
Yep.
are falsely accusing people because they got caught doing some unsavory shit that they shouldn't be getting caught doing can't
Yeah,
just
I
use that
agree.
as an automatic out. Like, I think at some point, like, you got to pay the piper if you lie on somebody.
I mean, bro, like, there's got to be consequence. Like, bro, we've seen it. That one football player served years in prison where it ended up coming out and she just admitted that it was a lie. Like, what? Nah, bro. Like, you've got to pay for that. Like,
Like,
there's just
something
no
has
way
to be
that you get
done.
away scot free for that.
Something has to be done.
Like, so that's, yeah, I agree 100%. That's just where I don't know. We got into a big thing out of that, but I just wanted to just at the end of the day, fuck Joy Taylor. All right, not literally either. All right, all you weirdos, all you nasty.
Dun, dun,
Uh,
dun. Right, but look, see, Lee, you gotta get back in here more often because I'm gonna chop this into like two different segments. I'm sold on the fact that every day I'll be watching other people have multiple podcasts a week. Like, I gotta break these like beginning parts to my content down and put them out as full pods because I be in
yeah,
this mode in this screen before I ever get to the gameplay. And I think we can all say that, like, I don't think we ever gonna blow up off of gameplay. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna have to be
no,
sports
no,
talk, fantasy, draft, pods, offline content, real tournaments. Like that's the stuff that I feel like it's more ahead of me than behind me in my content journey from like growing in that arena. You know what I'm saying? So, but I still enjoy the gaming and all that comes with that, like as far as the live stream. But I feel like I get an hour to 2 hours of good podcast content daily that I'm not utilizing as well as I should be. So I think I'll do
I
this
don't.
and then go back and be chopping throughout the week. I think that's like the road to glory.
I don't disagree. I think it's a good path. I'm with you on that as well. I've just been lazy on that part of it. I'm just getting
Yeah,
back into
this year
streaming
I ain't gonna
again.
be though, cause I was stuck on 30,000 on Facebook for I felt like 2 years, and then I looked up this past couple of weeks, and I'm like consistently putting out memes and putting my content back out, and I'm like, okay, I go up a couple thousand. Like, all right, now we it's like we
Yeah.
finally got it out the mud. Like, so let's like really get to pushing. I don't want to do what some people do to grow. I want to still be like traditionally me because I feel like I gotta grow some kind of a part of the brand to be able to get brand deals and sell myself and not just doing random stuff. So it's like I
Nah,
think
you
this
gotta
is
be
it.
authentic. You gotta be authentic, and I agree. That's like why I like doing the fantasy podcast. This is the space I'm trying to get into more, and I gotta start doing what what you gotta be doing. That's the biggest thing is we all like listen. I don't like to have long conversations about sports with a ton of people because a lot of y'all are dumb. All right, let's just give it a buck. Okay, so I don't like to do this all the time, but I love doing it with Buddha, man. Who knows sports? I always have a good conversation with him. Um, I think that we both mesh well when it comes to these talks, as far as being able to bounce off of each other. So I always like coming on and do this. It's cool to get the cam on right now too, and then just kick it with you guys. But yeah, I'm definitely down to do this some more. That is for sure.